Hey, welcome to the Really Charlie podcast. I'm Charlie Perry here to blast off this podcast every Tuesday, 7 o'clock, sometimes 7:30. It all depends um where my guests are on their schedule. And so we that first half an hour we kind of give it a break. And we actually decide, whether it's gonna be 7 or 7:30. When I used to do it at 6, it seemed like it was too it was too early, and for me, only because I had to leave work, get home, and so I had to boost it back up rather till 7:30. Um, well, today's podcast is the grown folks party with Mwalim, the funky professor, and Chops Turner. Um, waiting for them to get on studio, and then we can actually start the podcast with them. Meanwhile, I'm going to talk about a few things that are going on with me. Yesterday, we had fentanyl facts and stories with my co-host Paula Young, and we do that every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time here on Facebook and on YouTube. Um, we eventually gonna, bring everything's probably gonna go to YouTube, only because what's going on with Facebook is that a lot of the live streams of the live shows are actually gonna be deleted. So they request that you download them, and so what I'm gonna do is just bring it to YouTube, and that way it stays there and anyone that's on the podcast can view it at any time without worrying about it being deleted. Um, Tomorrow, two shows, one at 11 a.m. It's about the celebration of the Union Baptist Church on Court Street in New Bedford. Going to talk about that with some history. That'll be at 11 a.m. And then later on that evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be on a new show. Sometimes you have to lose yourself, and it will be myself along with co-host Marvin Speller, and we are going to bring on one of our guests. So I don't know if she's actually going to come on, but so I'm just going to leave that up in the air right now. So when tomorrow, 6 p.m., we will start a new podcast. Podcasts are good, for me. So if I can do them, I'm kind of sitting way up top of the house, and doing my podcast, and I enjoy doing it every day. It's an easy way to get the news out or highlight someone. Like I always say, got to give you your flowers while you're standing. So that's what I do every week. I'm trying to search out someone where I can highlight them. Um, I talked to DJ Fresco. I'm going to have him on soon. We talked about 2 weeks ago, and we're going to try to get that established so I can get him on here along with the Cozy Crib. And those are all from Khalif. Remember, Khalif was on a few weeks ago. Those are the guests that he wants on. Um, think about me and DJ Fresco. We see each other when we always talk about it. It was just real nice that Khalif mentioned his name. So just pushed me a little bit harder to make it happen. So the let's see what else. I had a few other guests. Alvin Ramus. I know him as Little Alvin Ramus. He's been putting out some music, some content, and he's got a new album coming out. So like to get him on it, and his sister, Jasmine. She's a poet, so you know how I feel about poets. Got to get her on. Um, and let's see. Oh, and Frequency Live here on WNB1 Radio. As you see on the bottom of the screen, WNB1 Radio, 262 Union Street, New Bedford, Mass. And go to WNB1.com. What's going on, Jack? I see you, brother. What's going on? Uh-uh-uh. getting ready for that draft. You're going to get that first pick. You're going to have a good quarterback, brother. I think you're going to be all right, man. Going to do all right. Good on the Tennessee Titans. Sundays on WNB1 radio, we have the Frequency Live podcast that's hosted by Berto Carter, Derek Demers, Edmund Ray, and myself. And we are definitely we're on the radio every Sunday, Facebook Live. We're doing our thing. Have a few guests. We just had Counselor at Lodge, Brian Gomes on. What's up, Mike Samayo? I see you, brother. I see you. Man, that book is ready. His book. Cannot wait. But we're going to get Michael on this podcast so we can talk about his book coming up. Oh, it's already out on the shelf, you know. So Apple is going to be all over the place. So, but we'll wait, and we'll definitely get him on the podcast so we can talk about his book. So Frequency Live, we had Counselor Brian Gomes, Counselor at Large Brian Gomes on. It was nice, kind of candid and a little organic. We just talked shop, and it was good to have someone that felt comfortable in the studio around us and feel free that he can just talk shop, and I like it. Like to do that some more and more often. We got a future guest coming up, community advocate, and that's John Buddy Andrade will be coming on the Frequency Live in about 2 weeks. So I can't wait, cannot wait. I see Chops Turner in the studio, black and beautiful. Let's put him on the screen here. Man, I was playing your music in the background. I was waiting for you to hit the studio. But the
Charlie Perry,
what's going on, man? The airtime was coming, so I had to go on live.
Thank you, brother.
So, man, nice to see you. Where's the other half, man? Where's that funky professor, man?
I don't know where he's at, man. I know he's always busy, man. I was around the house doing stuff too.
Oh, okay.
Nicole going shopping, and you know how that goes. The kids come in and grandkids and everything,
But
he should be coming out. He said he's going to be home,
Yeah. As long as Nicole's shopping with her card and not yours, that's fine.
Man, but I appreciate you having us on, child.
Yeah, of course, man. It was great to see that you guys are getting that project going.
Yes, sir. The project is I think kind of he has found my niche. I'm a I don't like to how can I say I'm trying to find my word. Underrate myself. I'm a ballad singer, but finding that up-tempo song that really gets the people on to ignite the dance floor, like this song here we have, Grown Folks Party. I think we found a niche for myself, which would be house music. I think it fits my voice perfectly,
Yeah, of course. It's you just picture this. I mean, this is me looking at you, or me coming into a room, and Chops Turner is down in the far corner. And, I'm gonna hear that voice. I'm gonna hear that as you say, the voice, right? We're gonna hear the voice. I'm gonna hear the laughter. You captivate that all. You've been like that for years, and
thank you, child, man. Yeah. Well, my thing is to keep being who God created me to be, to be real, man, a real person, and that's what people misunderstand. Just be yourself, and other things will come, man. The good things will follow when you're yourself,
Exactly.
and it's not easy. This business is really. I never would knew it would be as sometimes I hate to use this word, but I have to use it diabolical,
Yep. Yep.
Because people want to be noticed and seen, so they would do things to take you from where you actually belong. Now, this is something that I was chosen to do by God, man, and I know that now after all these years, and I've been with some of the greatest ones, the greatest singers and entertainers in the world, man, and so that lets me know that I belong,
Exactly.
And
God given
Tavares, one of my groups,
gifts.
Temptations, all these guys, man, Blue Notes, Manhattans, all these guys I've been with. I mean, that really inspired me, man. I mean, that made me think on a whole new level,
Exactly. It's amazing that as you talk about your history and all the different voices, all the different people you've seen and collaborated
Yes,
with, the it's amazing book, right? And you just keep sharing those histories and all the history about that. You come from Rhode Island, come from a church environment, and a beautiful family, but I gotta ask you, did your mama give you that nickname, Chops?
No, it's funny that you say that. Most people don't know. I know you probably know that I'm an athlete. I was a great football player. That was my niche. I played football for. I was with the Outlaw. I was played high school and I had a chance to play Ohio State. One of my mentors is Ronnie Lott. So I was one of those type of mean, type of hitting dudes. Everybody thinks when I was on the field, I was that type of player like Jack Tatum and them guys. I was like that, man, vicious, man, on the field because, back then, we were, you had to be outside. So all we did, how kids do back then when we growing up, you outside playing, you're doing street hockey, you're doing soccer, we high go seat and all that stuff. We did what kids normally do. And being a basketball player, and I grew up watching Marvin Barnes.
Yep.
And I saw the Tavares. I went to their first show when they opened for the Jackson 5. I was there, man. That really inspired me, man. When I saw the Tavares with the Jackson 5, and we knew they were from New Bedford and Rhode Island, and we were like, I won't say we, but I was like floored.
Yeah, it's interesting that the first time I heard a story about Marvin Barnes was actually through my uncles and his friends and but I remember the story how they talked about coming to Monty's Park and playing against Rico Ramos and
he played against I remember I met he died. Was it Keith? What's his last name? Keith
Keith Francis.
Yeah, man. Marvin, man, he was a good guy. Me and him used to sit down and talk. One of the nicest guys I met, I know. One of the nicest guys, treat me like family, man. And we talked about him and Marvin playing against each other. I saw him when he used to play at the recreation center. And I saw him in his early stages, man, dunking on. And I knew he was bound for the NBA, and we knew, so I tried to be like Bonds, man. So we saw greatness, and as a young kids, that Jeffrey Osborne, Tavares, come on, man. I mean, that is inspiring, man, and that really made me want to reach the next phase in the business,
Yeah, it's nice when you have those inspirations all around you. Right?
Oh yeah, man. And Charlie, man, people don't realize that Marvin, whatever PC thought about him or the outside world thought about him. He was gifted. He was the LeBron James, Michael Jordan of that time, man. And man, he was awesome, man. I mean, his talent was undeniable, man. And I saw it firsthand. I went to his first game against the doctor, man. He dunked on the doctor. The doctor go down and dunk on him. Doctor said he had his hardest time was with Bonds, you know.
It's interesting that you mentioned the doctor. You know, his ties to this area. People
I know, Mike.
It, you know.
Yeah, Mike was telling me to his ties here. Mike Casasio, con man. He would tell me about the doctor, man. And one of my favorite players. One of my favorite players for Philadelphia. And I should try to do the doctor stuff too. Back in my day, you know. And he wasn't only a great basketball player; he was a great role model too. That's what people don't realize. Hold on, I think what's his name trying to hit me up? What's his name? Trying to okay. Yeah. Trying to it's him. Yeah. Yes. But those are the things that the OGs taught me. I met many people here in this city, outside the city, white and black, would give me some great input in how to carry myself. I mean, you can be a great football player, but you can be a great on the field as well as off the field. You know what I mean? And same thing with music, man. It's the way you carry yourself. You know what I mean? And everybody, I mean, I'm always myself, whether I'm singing or whether I'm not singing. I'm always me, and I treat people accordingly. You know. You know.
It's amazing that well, Butch Texera says that he saw you in high school play.
Who?
Butchie Texera.
He did? Oh yeah, Butch. Oh, Crazy Butch.
Yeah, that's one.
Oh, him and I go way back, man. We go over back 30, 40 years.
That's one of the OG Bay Village kids.
Oh, man, yeah. Butchie was quiet when I met him many years ago. And his sister that passed on, I knew her very well. God rest her soul, Kathy. And I knew her very well. And the family was really an outstanding family, man. And Butch was big
family, you know, big family.
Oh yeah, big family, but good people though, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing, Charlie, man. Being the best you can be as a human being. The music is one thing. No matter what you play, what sport you play, or what you sing, or whatever you may be in life. My grandmother always said, "Do it your best." If you're a street sweeper, or you clean, or you shine shoes, there's no more shining shoes no more. At least here it's not, you know. You know, shining shoes and all that stuff, man. You be the best at it. A garbage man, whatever you do. But be kind and I never understood that. My grandmother used to teach me that. She lived to be 104. And, you know, there's a lot of things you have to grin and bear, but treat people like you want to be treated. That type of wisdom, man, kept me grounded as a human being too. I'm not perfect. No man's perfect, you know, but you strive to be the best you can. And, you know, I got grandkids, man, and you try to be a role model or example. Say, hey, man, you know, my grandkid now, he's in baseball. They won a championship last year. I'm proud of him. He's going to major leagues. My other grandson don't want to play, but I'm trying to motivate them, man. They see me being a singer. They see I'm disciplined. I'm not out there doing the other things, man, that you know, they see, man, you know what I mean? I'm doing the best I can to be the best that I can so they can be the best that they can in this generation here, you know, my grandkids, you know. Not only them, I never knew that I inspired a lot of young kids, man. I never looked at it like that, you know, because my head's to grind. I'm grinding, man. You know, I'm working on my craft and evolving as a human being and as a entertainer. And these things mean more to me. And people, the people that come here up in New Bedford to me, the kids, and tell me what they, how they admire me. I'm like shocked, man.
Yeah, you just and you people respond to positivity, right?
There you go.
You don't display you display that positivity. There's no negativity that usually comes from you. There's only one time in our long friendship is that I seen you sad. It was only one time, and I was like, oh boy, that hit him, and I was like, but that was the first time.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm a human being.
Of course.
I'm human, but most times I'm happy. I'm always going to be me. Thank God for my personality, and I understand how people feel, no matter where you're from or what city, what town, or where you're from. I treat people like I want to be treated, whether they're black, white, brown, red, or yellow. I understand the time we're living in. I grew up around a lot of wisdom, man. A lot of wisdom. It took a long time to really understand that, because sometimes you don't understand until by and by, you know.
Yeah.
And you have to. Some people have to experience it. But you know, back to old school. You know, back in our day, child, people who were taught that, you know, and that discipline stays with you all through your life, man.
Exactly.
You know, and I've seen negativity. I've seen it, you know, and I was glad I never got into drinking and smoking. I smoked at one point. I gave that up cold-blooded, man, and never got into drugs and all that stuff, man. And those are the things that, and people come out, you know, we're in that type of business, man. You know, people call me all the time. I said, nah, man, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do this, I don't do that. And they look at me like I'm crazy. You know?
They made a song about some women that don't drink and smoke.
They did. I didn't know that.
I can't think of the name.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't. You know,
drink,
and
don't smoke. What do you do? Don't drink.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm truly. But it takes it. Well,
the name of the song was "Goody Two Shoes."
Oh, there he is. There he is. Okay.
It was by Adam Ant. Don't smoke.
What? Oh, Adam Ant.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I forget, man. We all around that same age, so
yes, sir.
If we all get together, we can name every song, you know. Because I'm gonna forget, he's gonna forget, y'all gonna forget, and then go from there. Actually, Lorraine is saying hi, Charlie, and Chops. Nice to see you. I appreciate it.
Lorraine, tell us hello.
Yes. We're gonna talk to this funky professor here, all right?
Where's he at? I can't see him.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring him right over here.
Okay, Charlie, you're the operator, man.
Yeah. So, what I wanna ask the funky professor is this, all right? When you started, you know, there was this grown folks party, and you were you wanted this grown folks party, or Chops wanted this grown folks party, right? What did you see out of Chops Turner that made you want to?
Well, I should explain. I've been listening to Chops for a little better than 30 years.
Yes.
And so I'm not going to say I'm a kid, but when he talks about the young people he's influenced, when I was a teenager and when I was in my 20s, he was definitely one of the people that I was looking up to, especially as I was trying to get into the business. And
wow.
and on that end, so I somewhere in my collection, I have actually it was a Naval Turner and the High Tech Orchestra flyer.
Oh man, that's great.
From an NAACP event.
Yes, sir.
That was out here on the Cape at I think
yes,
Silver Dollar or something. But anyway, but all this to say that I listening to him for that long, and for me the blessing was listening to him and then going and getting in the business and being in the industry and producing and learning about production and learning about the business and learning about working with other artists, because initially I learned production so that I could produce my own music. And that came in later on when the Groovalados came about, and of course it was also the interesting experience of raising a child who's now a master engineer. He was a toddler running around my production suite. And one of the big things that I learned about production is you listen to the singers, listen to what kind of music do they interpret. Not only what are they interpreting, but when you listen to their voice, their timbre, their quality, you think about what kind of music could work with this singer. So a couple of years ago, because Chops and I had been talking about collaborating for a minute.
Oh yeah, for a long time.
And a couple of years ago, again, still talking about the collaboration aspect, but a couple of years ago, I went to listen, and this time I went to listen to Chops, not just as a fan, but as a producer going to listen to an artist. And I'm listening to what he's doing with the band. And, again, I'm a Chops Turner fan, so listening to his voice. But what I also was paying attention to was his audience.
Yeah.
And what did his audience respond to? Because when you have, and it makes, what is beautiful with Chops is he has a very consistent audience, a very strong fan base. So if you go and sit in a Chops Turner show, you can watch the audience and know that what these folks like are pretty much what they're going to like about Chops, because this is what we all love about him. And so I remember listening at that show and hearing the tunes he was doing, and then what I also have a tendency to do at shows like that, I pay attention to what the DJ is playing in between. Right. Okay. And I noticed, the crowd loved him. This was down in Providence. Crowd loved him. And then when he went on break, the DJ came up and he played a couple of Mel Waiters records. And I'm listening, and I'm seeing that the same crowd that loves Chops is running up on the dance floor to dance to Mel Waiters. So I'm like, okay. And it's funny because this is actually the first, because I'm a keyboard player, but I started playing guitar, and this was the first song I actually put on a guitar. I wrote "Get Together," and I intentionally wrote "Get Together" as a Southern soul song because I'm like, okay, this is a segment of the audience Chops has, and. Now, I'm gonna rag on Chops a little. He didn't really perform "Get Together" a lot when it came out, and the unfortunate thing, he ended up with a record that became a hit in Texas, in Mississippi, in Alabama, in North and South Carolina, in Georgia, in Florida. Basically down south was loving "Get Together." It made what they call the juke joint list.
The juke joint list.
The juke joint list. So I was like, okay, so I think I know a little something about where Chops' voice can go. And one of the singers I always, and this again goes back to when I first heard him, one of the singers he always made me think of was Lou Rawls.
Everybody says that, man.
And it's because you have that very commanding baritone, and you have that strong control of your vocal, which is something, so when you say world-class singer, yes, we're gonna put you with Mr. Rawls, we're gonna put you with Mr. Sinatra. Why not? We're gonna put you with Mr. Bennett. In fact, let me go with the real world-class singers. We're gonna put you with Arthur Prysock.
Them guys are great.
I'm gonna put you, you're with the greats. Well,
thank you.
I'm looking at so let's go back to Lou Rawls. Lou Rawls had many records out, was a big star. What was Lou Rawls's biggest hit? You're gonna miss my loving, the disco record.
Yes.
You'll never find, right?
And this is where another piece of my youth comes into the story. So I'm in New York City. I'm in high school. I went to music and art high school, and this would have been 1984. And it's 1984 because there was a dude out in front of my high school handing out invite passes to a nightclub called the Paradise Garage. Now, somebody was handing out flyers for a nightclub in front of a high school. Now they'd go to jail. But I instead got this guest pass to the Paradise Garage way down in Soho in Manhattan. And so, 16 years old, I called myself sneaking in to the Paradise Garage, not even realizing that it was primarily a gay club. But I wasn't, like I said, I was this cute little 16-year-old. So, of course, they let me in. Anyway, the Paradise Garage had probably the best sound system I have ever heard in my life. Like, I have not heard a sound system to this day that surpassed it. And came to find out that the sound system was custom designed for that room, so it was, so it was optimized. So right. I remember walking in and being completely blown away just from the sound of the music. And of course, it was fast-paced dance music. And at that time, I didn't know the term house music, and people were calling it garage music.
Right. I remember
I didn't even know at that point. I didn't even know about Frankie Knuckles in Chicago and the Warehouse. But anyway, so this DJ Larry Levon completely blows me away. I'm hearing this music that just sounds like the disco, sounds like the old Saturday Night Fever and the old Tavares records that I grew up with, but it's got intensity to it. And then, of course, as I get to college, I found out about house music. Well, I was basically a house, they refer to us as house heads. I was one of those people going to the underground dance clubs and dancing till 4 and 5 in the morning. There was one in New York called the Shelter that if you were real, you didn't show up there till 2 in the morning. And it didn't let out till 9 the next day. But so I was listening. I'm like, okay, so here's Chops Turner's voice, and here is house music. And of course, my son Zig is also into house music, and this is how we ended up creating Womptronica, because we realized the Groovalatos have a sound that is more of a soul funk, classic soul funk sound, and to then try to introduce this completely new sound with this band would be problematic. So we created a project called Womptronica, which is blending house music, remixes, and that kind of thing. And then it was sort of like, had this idea. And it kind of stems back to sneaking into underground clubs and going to clubs and of course, even going to clubs and gatherings where you need somebody's phone number to get in or even find out where it is. And just that whole story just kind of created a full circle, and that's how we ended up with "We about to have a grown folks party." Thinking about that party that happens after the club lets out.
Right.
Which is why we have that line, "Hit me up to get the address," because it's not. Right. And so it just became the idea of telling the story about throwing that party that folks are going to show up to after the club let out, that underground, that that after hours. And so that
have you guys done it live? Have you both been together live to do everything?
We haven't. We are going to. We have not done it live yet.
Right.
And some of what mostly ended up behind that were technical issues rather than performance issues. But right. That's definitely a song we're going to be doing live. And
exactly.
And incidentally, Chops doesn't know this yet, but in the fall, the Groovalatos are doing a live at the Underground album. Where we're gonna record it actually at the Underground Railroad Cafe, and one of the songs that definitely needs to be on that album is the live band version of Grown Folk Party. So that's gonna be our chance. Also, that's gonna be our chance to not only do it together live but also capture it.
Yeah, that'd be great, man.
Very nice. So you both get together, right?
Yeah.
You start doing things. And I know both of you were relatively busy throughout the year, last year,
Yes, sir.
even the year before that. So when did you both decide to just put your feet to the ground and stop and just say, let's do this?
2
What
years ago.
happened? All right, okay.
Yeah,
Because
get together was the beginning of collaborating.
all right,
That's right. That's right.
Because
that's the problem with sometimes we don't stop and do it, right? And just say,
yeah,
hey, all right, let's do this. And
That's right.
yeah.
and I'm glad that you guys stopped and then
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
got this done, you know.
The other track that we ended up putting out that gets a lot of seasonal attention, we did a holiday record called This Holiday With You.
Exactly.
That we put out 2 Christmases ago, and then it came out 2 Christmases ago, and during Christmas season it got a whole lot of play. In fact, it was funny because we put out This Holiday With You, and we put out a Kwanzaa record called 7 Candles.
Mm-hmm.
And, both of them ended up at the top of the regional holiday music list. But This Holiday With You was another nice one to explore the vocal. And we've got other cuts that we're working on, but like I said, it was something that I heard. It was my producer ear that said, Chops, we gotta make some house music.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And a lot of it had to do with, coming from the era of classic house music where you had real music and real singers.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm listening to a lot of what they're calling house music now. And you can tell from my beard, I go back a couple of years.
We're still young. Remember, I got those gray too. Not as much. I got them too.
Yeah, but you still got some dark hair in yours. Mine.
No, must be the washing in the Acushnet River does that. Keep some of that brown
going. Man.
Oh man, I love my brother.
Yeah, good brother, man.
Love you guys too, man.
Love you more, man.
Yeah, man. But
I just wanted to say that messing around with music and songwriting, I want to give both of you 5 stars. It takes a lot of commitment, and dedication, and I just want to say I'm seeing it firsthand, and so keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate appreciate that, Charlie. Man, coming from you is really a compliment. Working with the collaboration with him is outstanding. Sometimes people can hear what I don't hear, and he heard that in me. And what an honor and pleasure to be able to do house music, man. It's not an easy thing to sing house music. Everybody thinks it's easy. But I thank God that I can sing that type of music. And that's the blessing, be able to make that transition,
Yeah.
Do you guys like that? I don't know if I like that. I'm trying to get the right screen here for us, because we're all in different. All right, I'm gonna leave this right here. This one.
I kind of like the triple screen. It felt like I was on Newsline for a minute.
Oh yeah,
yeah. All right, now let's start arguing about politics. All right, which one?
Politics. Oh God.
Listen, I was trying to think. I was so tired of hearing or seeing certain names. I said I gotta block some of these names out because it's overtaking my YouTube. My YouTube search. I'm like boom, boom, boom. I'm like, come on, man. I want to see what the hell. I just was on 50 videos of Chops Turner. How come I'm not seeing that? I was on 50 videos of Mwalim and the Funky Professor, another 50 of the Groove Lotto. And I'm like, why ain't they in my search, man? I'm just tired of I'm getting all that other stuff, and it's nerve-wracking. But the other thing is I want to let both of you know that we need to get you on the Frequency Live on WNB1 Radio.
Thank you.
Because there's some other hosts that do like you, like both of you, like what you're doing. You know, Alberto Carter, Derek Demers, Edmund Ray. I mean, we
right.
definitely like to get you on there. We had Brian Gomes on there.
Brian, big Brian, big Brian, yeah.
Buddy Andrew's gonna come in 2 more weeks. He'll be on. And the only thing is that Sundays is the Lord's Day. I mean the Chops Day. I mean the Lord's Day. I mean Sunday may be too hard for you guys, but that's when we do it on Sunday, and I like to bring
on Sunday.
You guys in the studio. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me know. I'm down.
All right. Yeah. Me too. What time? What time is about, Chop?
It's usually 7 p.m. and we go 7 p.m. to 9.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's even if it's in between those hours where you gotta kind of jump in and maybe come at 8 maybe or something like that. It's up to you, but we start at 7 and let's just say we were it's Flip Bros saying hello to us. Little Flip Bros. That's another dude that laughed. If Chops Turner broke into a building and I was a cop, me and Mwalim were a cop, and if Chops laughed on the roof, I would knew it was him. If Flip Rose is in the corner of the warehouse and he laughed, I knew it was him. I said, Funky Professor, we can go home, man. We got this case all wrapped up.
Everybody always says that, man. Oh, God. That's crazy, man.
I guess this is an opportune time to say I'm about to become one of your co-broadcasters.
Yes.
On starting May.
WNB1, yeah.
Wow. That's going to be great, man.
Yeah, starting May 13th, we're going to have the From the Underground, which is going to be every Tuesday night just after your show.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be on 8 to 10 spinning house music and remixes of classic records, and rare groove, but basically our dance club material.
Wow,
that's very nice because it just I just like, I mean, that's why I stay with WNB1 Radio. I just like what they're doing. I like the website. I like the different shows, and it's why not go to a place, a location where your creativity, both of you, your creativity is accepted immediately compared to going somewhere else and you got to go through A through Z and then they say, no, we can't do it.
That's right.
So
that's true.
But it's funny. I was listening to a commercial today and Cat Country is hiring. They need some people. I was like, ooh, let me go over there, but you know what? I can't. I just want to do production. I want to kind of, slide the buttons. I want to adjust. I want to learn that. And so, who knows? But I got a bucket list, and it's become a barrel now.
MB1 is one of the beautiful opportunities that came about.
Right.
Because I remember what the city was like when I first started working there and what was going on and the things that weren't going on. Ooh. And, I always, Chops has heard me say this. How can you have so many gatekeepers in a city with no fences?
Yeah.
And, it was kind of funny. And it was basically a matter of, I was always told, knock on the door, and if they don't open the door, build your own house.
That's right. That's the truth.
And so in terms of, so with New Bedford, what I began to see, it was sort of like, okay, well, build your own house. So it was like with the Groovalados, we brought ourselves into the city of New Bedford. We didn't, we went, we danced around the gatekeepers, and we became part of the New Bedford scene.
Exactly.
It's the same kind of, and it's the same kind of beautiful thing that I saw happen with WNB1. I see this radio station pops up in the middle of the city that's actually representing the community.
Mm-hmm.
And, this is a beautiful thing. I'm looking at different entities. It's beautiful to be able to collaborate with Miss Cordwell.
Yeah.
And, you know, and help her bring that cafe into fruition. And, you know, having energies like that, because, you know, and how it becomes full circle, because I remember my first time for any length of time in New Bedford was when I was 12, and it was, you know, and it was basically hanging out in Bay Village.
Mm-hmm.
So now here I am back in Bay Village doing programming for this community that feels like, you know, feels very much like my community.
Well, you're still a young man. I just hope that those two grown young men don't come walking around the corner and say, "Daddy." Daddy.
I have no skeletons in New Bedford. I repeat, I have no skeletons in New Bedford.
Okay, so if you're on the underground, you know, the Railroad Cafe, right? I want to tell you how to do it, right? You go through, in that front entrance.
Yeah.
Right? Go to the back, then there's that side door, and that's the easiest way to get to escape anything. So if you see them at the front door, just go to that side door. Go west on Russell Street. You'll be all set, right?
I'm with
you. Tell you something, man.
Hey, just, you know what? If anything, you know what? If they need your social security number, just say 9 numbers. Just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and run. Let's go.
There you go.
We all came, like I was born, raised here, then left 5 years, come back to New Bedford. Love it. Love the different just love the music scene here. And grew up around it, you know, from the Teak Room and the band club. And when I was doing all the songwriting, I named the album Blues from the Teak Room. And both of you been there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you kind of think of it, you know, you're sitting in the back and your back's against the wall on that little bench there, and you just sit in the stage in front of you. And that's where I got the name from, right? So
wow.
And but the one thing I like about is your stories that you bring from Rhode Island to Massachusetts, from New York to Massachusetts, and I love that. That's why I enjoy having you on and listening to you. This grown folks party, right? Talk about the you know, Howard Hewitt talks about the red light and the blue light and the red light, and then Funky Professor, he talks about in some of his music, and but that's what the cafe does for you guys. You know, it's like it's bring you back, you know, where you could kind of have that little soft light, you know, have the music going, got people talking, got people singing, you know, people stepping out to kind of grab that cigarette, you know, or maybe something else, but they're at least stepping out for something. You got a drink, you got food, you know,
as the proprietor, I have to say, take that across the street. Okay, now continue.
Yeah, exactly.
Take that over
there. When you see the food and this food's coming out and it's got aluminum foil on it, guess what? You know it's good, man. That's little stuff that mom and auntie and and it was funny. I used to always say auntie, and down south in Florida is aunt.
That's it.
You know, but I grew up, you know, when I grew up, I went down there and it's like Miss Celia and you know, Miss Kathy. You talked and that's the way it was always something special, you know. And and grown folks don't forget that. And so I'm glad that you guys came up with that creativity of the grown folks party. Now, who gets credit for it?
That's his idea, man. Came up with his idea, man. I saw when I went online and looked at it, man. Wow, I couldn't believe it was so many grown folks things, man. You know that they were. You know, you go on YouTube, man. Right? Mwalim, there's a influx of grown folks. I said, "Wow, man, I'm looking for a grown folks party," and it seemed like that terminology is used a lot in other cities. Is that true, Wally?
This is what I'm finding, and
Yeah.
I might have probably named it. So I should have done the research first, and probably should have given it a different title.
No, I like it. I think that's good.
Because I have a habit of, well, what's the topic? Okay, that's the title then. And and speaking of the cafe, so you're gonna be joining us to do poetry tomorrow, right, bro?
Yes, sir.
I gotta get down there. I'll be there.
Yeah. I know you have the broadcast first, but we're gonna.
I gotta do that. It's debut, and especially I do things for a reason. Especially the people involved with me. They're the reason why I do it. And
right.
Marvin Speller is just a special person in my life. So, once we do that, and then I can head over down and support the whole thing. And I want to be there more often, because I'm not getting my stuff out, and I got books on the shelf that are just sitting there, and I need to get that out. But the song,
I've got selfish reasons because I read your poetry every day online.
Yeah. No.
And I'm tired of reading it with your voice in my head. I want to hear it out loud.
You want to hear it and see it, huh?
It's not me imagining, well, this is probably how Charlie would sound reading this. I get to actually hear, this is how Charlie sounds, so that's one of the big things I'm looking forward to tomorrow with the Griot's Corner is, we're going to get to actually hear your stuff out loud. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Charlie's going to recite poetry tomorrow, huh?
The hardest thing. Go ahead.
I was going to say the other thing, both the brothers and even folks in the comment and chat, Friday at the cafe, we're doing a thing called the New Bedford Renaissance. It's a photo shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're doing is coordinating with people to either come dressed the way folks dressed during the Harlem Renaissance, or during what they call the postmodernist bebop era. That was the way folks dressed in the late 40s to mid 50s. We also telling people pick the Black Arts movement, the 60s. Gary Baraka, Nikki Giovanni, etc. In fact, a poet who I guess by extension is part of that era who's big to New Bedford would also be Everett Hoagland. But not to say I'm saying come dressed like him. I'm being funny. But Harlem on the other era that I had my students in particular take a look at was the urban expressionist era, which a lot of people don't really think about. But the urban expressionist era, those are your poets and jazz musicians who coincided with hip hop. Everybody wants to talk about 90s was a hip hop, and it was like, yeah, hip hop and rap were big, but you still had jazz musicians who were part of that scene. You still had poets and spoken word artists. So basically trying to have people represent one of those eras and come and just sit in the cafe. We're going to have a jazz trio, and Alicia Laporta is the photographer who's going to come capture it. But basically, we just want to capture some black and brown New Bedford excellence.
Right.
And some beauty. And also just in terms of what, one of the reasons, because I remember this is the funny thing. I went to the cafe just to do a program. It was when the Thunderchild album was coming out, and I was like, "Oh, I want to do a listening party, but I want to do it in my neighborhood," And I'm sorry, I consider that my neighborhood. But that was how I then was put in touch with Miss Coldwell. In fact, it was Buddy Andre who put me in touch with her. He gave me her number. And I talked to her, and she was like, "Oh, of course you can come and do it here." But then when I sat down and talked to her, and she talked about the grander vision of what she had in mind for the cafe, I'm like, well, we have an arts organization called Oversoul that's looking for a place to do almost everything you mentioned. And she said, well, then come do it here.
That's beautiful.
But in line with that, but looking at the cafe itself and its rich history, when it was a corner store, when it was a stowaway, And oh, I see Elvin is asking about the poetry spot. The poetry spot is the Underground Railroad Cafe, which is located at 213 Acushnet Avenue, right across the street from Montes Park. So please tell Jasmine to come with her poetry. I think she'll have a good time.
Yeah, Elvin does know because he is a South Second Street dude, and so he
all right,
knows exactly where that is. And
okay.
So
But
I love it.
but one of the things that made that place a natural fit was finding out that it actually had been a way station on the Underground Railroad.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the prior to the building of Route 18 and whatnot, when the harbor was a little bit closer, there was it was an underground. It was part of the Underground Railroad, and it was also a smuggler's notch.
Mm-hmm.
That tunnel. So knowing that as part of the history, I was like, "Ooh, we definitely." It's like this is absolutely where we got to do what we do. So,
Exactly.
but hopefully, well, like I said, looking forward to hearing your poetry, and hopefully get to see both of you guys come in your finery on Friday, so we can capture you in some of those images. And Saturday night is underground dance music, and I told Mr. Tavares, I told Tiny that if he showed up. That if he showed up, he'd get to hear all of our remixes with Tavares records.
Mm-hmm.
Because that too is some very, very influential material.
Yeah, it sure is. I try to when I'm creating reels on social media, I try to add and put local music on it. If I can grab it, if it's showing, if it's visible, and But the funny. Let me tell you about one of you guys' music. Right, somebody started singing "Hurry Back." Right, sing that song, and I said, "Oh my God, I love this!" Right, and so I know I picked the right song for the playlist because that song's on my wife's playlist. So it's like, all right. See that? It was good. She's playing it on the playlist. It's coming on. It's not my playlist. It's hers, and I can hear it all over the house. And I'm like, yeah. So, but hurry back. It's a great song, and the funniest thing is, Chops. Remember when I asked you about for the lyrics?
Yes.
Wanted it, and so I started writing them down, right? So I found that paper a few weeks ago.
You did?
So, but I didn't write. I finished writing it. I only had bits of the whole song, right? And writing it down. Man, I still had a long way to go, and I'm like, I got to finish this up. But the funniest thing is that
long song.
Yeah. So, let me do this. Chops, where's your next gig? Where's your next gig?
I'm all over the place. Saturday night, Friday I'm off. Saturday, I'm down in Tomatoes down there in Sandwich in the Cape. Then I'm off Sunday. I'm in East Providence, plays 133 on Sundays. And Friday, I think I'm off Friday. Friday, I'm off.
Okay.
I was at that new place called Bento's not too long ago.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was a good
show. Yeah, it's nice place, man.
It's a good name, good place,
yeah.
And may Bento Rocha and Rocha. May you rest in peace.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. You mean Bento? Oh man, I knew Bento. He was one of my biggest fans, man.
Yeah, I used to joke with him, right? Real story. I says, "Hey Bento, I love you. I love your Mustang more than you." he always had a nice Mustang. His Mustang was.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah. Bento's a good guy, man. Oh man, what a nice guy, man. God rest his soul.
Yes. The Nate Victor saying love Chops and his special spirit, of course. Yeah.
Oh man, but man, that's God's given, man. I'm thankful, man. And,
hey, Chops, Chops, you know the Victor family. Can any of them sing?
Yeah, Reggie trying to be, Reggie trying to sing, was it, his brothers? Oh, yeah, I know, Reggie. Good people.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very special people, man, because they always come and show their love and respect, man. That means a lot, man. That means a lot to myself. Yeah, and it does something for my spirit too, you know. Really, people here in the great city of New Bedford have embraced me, as I told Mwalim, and as a singer, and as family, you know. And I can say this. I mean, I've been a lot of places, in New Bedford, by far one of the greatest places that embrace entertainers that come from all walks, man. I saw that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if they love you here, they'll love you anywhere. I'm telling you, man, because
Nate Victor says only his dad could sing. That's cool. I think I'm gonna go steal his dad's hat. That he had the Apple hat, right?
Yeah.
Nate is the guy. I may use that for Friday, you know.
I was supposed to be Friday night doing a photo shoot with Mr. Peters. Is that still happening?
I was about to say you both got someplace to be Friday night.
Yeah. Photo shoot.
But a bit of news that I just got before the broadcast. So April 30th, I'll be one of the artists performing at the State House.
Wow,
very nice.
That morning for the Arts Action Week.
That's great, man.
Nice.
Apparently, they said over 100 people submitted, and they picked 5 of us.
I love that.
I'm glad they picked you, brother.
Yeah, so
now, Mwalim, you got some other news. What about the nomination? You got nominated for something.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually,
talk about that.
It's kind of cool. We haven't figured out who won yet, but I was nominated, and it was kind of cool because Zig was nominated in a different category, the Native American Music Awards.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man.
Which happen every year. I was nominated in the category Best Blues Album and Best Blues Artist.
Oh man, I saw that too. I saw that.
And Zig was nominated Best R&B Artist.
I love that. I love
and that. So we've been. Oh, thank you very much.
That's a blessing, man.
Elvin saying congratulations.
Congratulations. I love it too, man. I love it. Congratulations.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, his Elvin's son is also a musician. He's doing.
Oh yeah.
Got his album coming up, so we're gonna try to do the podcast.
Wow.
He's got some stuff on YouTube. So maybe especially young man him. He's just doing some amazing things.
Wow, that's great.
What I got to do is go on social media and I like to collaborate and get people, do a collaboration by just tagging names like Mwalim does. He tags everybody. Anybody that's connected to him that should know his information, and you see it. He tags. Well, what I like to do is when I want people to kind of collaborate together, I'll tag their names and something. So when it comes to a little Elvin, I'm gonna actually tag both you guys and
please do,
and get all 3 of you guys get together.
Thank you.
In fact, tag Zig too, because
exactly, because they're same age, same kind of same music. They definitely will could do something.
Because Zig and his cohorts are actually trying to create a bi-monthly showcase.
Wow.
Out of the cafe as well, because we were doing it during the Thump and Soul session, but we began to find that you had people who came to dance who were unhappy because now they got to see a show, and then you had people who came to see a show who then didn't want to dance. And it was like, okay, so maybe it might be a good idea if we do the showcase as a different kind of thing, because he had some amazing talent. We have some amazing talent in this region. Some very, very talented young people, because it was like I was saying, going back to I was saying, being an old guy, when I first got into production, they didn't have you didn't have digital systems, you didn't have auto tune, so everything went to tape. And it was really kind of funny because my grandfather, who was doing records back in the 20s, was telling me about how everything got cut direct to disc. And so it was like so it was sort of like, he's like, oh, you've got multi-track now, so if somebody makes a mistake, you can go back and fix it.
Right.
And but coming from the whole technology of reel-to-reel tape and recording even a multi-track like that, now I get to be the old guy in the room as I'm watching everybody record on computers, and it's like, oh, you hit that note wrong on the piano. Oh, well, I can go in and move the note, or oh, you hit that note wrong when you sang it. Well, no, you don't have to go back in the booth. I can just go in and move it. And I'm like, where was this when I was starting out? But
oh man, wow.
But the beautiful thing is, and it's especially because of Zig coming in touch with so many young performers out of the Cape and out of New Bedford and Providence,
yes, sir,
and Boston, who still have that old school talent and that old school sense of perfection. Where it's like, where they don't think about there's a shortcut in how they're doing it.
That's right.
And
so many things where I don't know if you can see it, but these little thumb drives, man.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
I used to be my cousin's crate boy when he DJ'd parties, and he thinking about bringing 10 and 15 crates.
Yeah, crates. Oh god.
And now you can put literally about 2,000 crates worth of music on one of those little drives that you just held up.
That's it.
They get there's a young DJ, real small, tiny, petite little girl, and she's a DJ, and she just has everything on like we used to call them a red wagon, right?
Yeah.
She got her own little cart. She got all her DJ equipment, everything in there. And she just goes into the show, sets up everything. Boom, 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 boom. She's done. And then she takes everything down. Boom, boom, boom. In like 20 minutes, she's just done. She's out the door and puts everything away.
Oh, yeah.
But she definitely has that thumb drive. And she just, my music is right here and on my laptop. So, the Mwalim, you mentioned a few different projects that are happening this week. You're on all the social media, everything. Just I want you to mention anything that we missed, that we didn't say, so people can find you, because we need to find you. There's so many people out there that need your production, need your expertise. Jobs, need both of you.
Oh no doubt, man.
So where can we find? All right, where can we find Mwalim? And then Chops, you tell us where we can find you.
Okay. Let's see. If you're talking social media, I'm Mwalim on Instagram. I'm Mwalim _DaPhunkee _prof on TikTok. Or if you're just interested in my music, because I learned to do a bunch of pages on TikTok. I have Mwalim _7. That's my music page. You can look for me with Wamptronica, and you can look for me with Groovalados. All of those are social media. Those are the best ways to catch me. My website is DaPhunkee Professor. That's DAPH. I spell funky with a PH because I didn't go to Berkeley. But it's PHUNKEE, PROFESSOR. So it's DaPhunkieProfessor.com. That's a good way to catch me. You can email me from my website. You can catch different music, different projects that I've been working on. So yeah, those are probably the best ways to catch me.
Good. All right. Chops, what about you, bro?
You can catch me on Facebook, like you said, Instagram, Twitter, all those social networks and platforms. Get our new record, new song.
Yeah.
I say record, I'm old school.
Yeah, me too.
Get our new song, man. Grown Folks Party. That's on all platforms, right, Ron?
Mm-hmm.
And you see me almost anywhere, and everybody knows, or they can hear the laugh, and they say, "There he is."
I'm sorry, I completely forgot. I have to give a shout out to our label president.
Oh yeah,
Rhea Ramos.
Oh, Ray,
who's also New Bedford, who's also deeply New Bedford entrenched, born and raised, but definitely she came and joined the operation. We took on a completely different trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
And because we went from, our label was basically just an imprint for us to put out our own material, but she helped us actually turn it into an actual label that's recognized in terms of organizational structure and even just plans and that thing. It's a very different, and it's a blessing, definitely. But
yeah, she's
definitely gotta give Rhea her shout out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hard worker and definitely round peg and round hole. I like that.
Yeah.
The let's see. Chops, you know that?
I hear that.
I keep that in my sound box here.
I hear that.
I recorded that. I was messing around. I was like, I gotta put this in on the podcast so I can woo some ladies, man. Excuse me, my wife ain't listening anyway. She ain't never on a Really Solid podcast. And now watch. 5 seconds to be in the conversation. What'd you say?
Yeah, they're gonna get you, man.
Yeah. I'm always
in trouble.
Yeah. I tell everybody I'm always in the doghouse. My doghouse got cable TV.
That's right.
All right, fellas. We kind of exhausted our time.
Oh man, thank you, man. We're grateful.
I'm so happy that we did this.
We're grateful, man. I'm grateful.
Definitely.
We're grateful, man. Thank you for having us. What a pleasure, man. What an honor to be on the Charlie podcast, man. What a great opportunity.
Yes, and I'll see you guys. Looks like 2 days more this week.
Yes,
so,
sir.
I gotta figure out what I'm gonna wear on Friday, man.
Myself too.
Just come dressed for a grown folks party.
Yeah.
Yeah, come dress for grown folks party, man. Oh.
Yeah. Great time. It's all right. I definitely, I am so happy that everyone can join us on Facebook Live and YouTube. YouTube's going to eventually be the go-to for the Really Charlie podcast. I will definitely let everybody know. That's where I'm going to put all my podcasts, only because they allow you to keep your creativity and your productions on the air. They keep it visible.
That's great.
Facebook is kind of dumbing down what they did, and I don't get it. I don't understand it. But I'm thanks to StreamYard, which I use every week.
Right.
StreamYard allows me to storage and keep all my shows, and that way, if later on, somebody like Chops or Mwalim want this video, they let me know, and then I can kind of put it on a thumb drive. So good. All right.
It was a pleasure, man. Charlie, thank you for having us. What a pleasure.
And I will I'll definitely see you this week. Definitely I got to break my camera up. It's getting a little rusty, so I want I need some new pictures of you guys, and
we need some new pictures yourself.
And only because we you know, I like to share everything. I actually can't wait for this year's parade. I'm not gonna be marching with anybody. I'm gonna sit in my little corner spot, and take my pictures and captivate the Cape Verdean community, well, the New Bedford community, because everyone's there. So I want to captivate everybody and actually put those pictures back up, because I went back and look in my archives, and I haven't been taking pictures for a couple of years down at the parade route, so I need to do that. So
I go every year. I enjoy the parade. Just sitting back.
We're gonna sign up to be in it again this year.
Good.
Are you gonna be in this year too?
That nice loud track that we had last year. We gotta do it again.
Yeah, this time we're gonna pray for some good weather. The 50th year celebration of this. So let's.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful parade, man. I enjoyed it last year too. It was great, man. So last year it was really nice, and I enjoy it, man.
We got to keep a gap between Chops and the Mwalim, because the voices and all that. You guys so loud, so we got to put a certain loud. We'll be on a microphone and everything. So,
man. Hey, let me ask you a question. How's your mom doing in KP, man?
Mom's good. She's pregnant. She's gonna have a baby in a few months.
Oh wow!
I'm only joking.
No, you ready to say?
Nah, she's mom is.
Get out of here, Charlie, man.
Mom is doing well. She's working. She retired. She's doing a few hours, and
she's one of the nicest. She's one of the nicest ladies, man.
Yeah, helping out. She's not too far from you, so.
Yeah, I see her sometimes. Walking,
Yeah.
She doesn't see me, but I see her, and I say, "Well, that's Charlie's mom,"
I got to find that money. She should be riding around in Mercedes or something, she's walking. She's giving all her money to Sir the bus,
Oh yeah. She gets around, man. She still looks the same. Good to see her still thriving and stuff. That's a great thing, man.
Tough growing up with her, because no one believed she was my mom. This is your sister, and it's
yeah, she looks so young too. Yeah, very nicely.
I don't get any help from KP, right? So KP tells all his friends that they say, "Oh, Charlie Perry." Said, "Yeah, that's my dad." And so it's true, Charlie Perry. I'm a junior, right? But he doesn't tell anybody that. What he does is he gets so many people to believe that I'm his father, right? So everyone says, "Hey, I met your son, Kevin Perry." Not my son, it's my brother, But,
oh God, KP's something, man. He's something, man. I haven't seen him in a long time, though. It's been a long time. I haven't seen him, man.
He's at Gaspar's Linguiça, playing with that Linguiça.
Oh yeah, with the Linguiça.
Yeah, he's been there quite a few years. So, yeah, he's the Michael Epps of my family.
Oh Lord, yeah, he is. Yeah, he's a big fan, man, and always had some great positive energy for us. From way back when, man. Give them my regards, and
thank you
and love, my man, and tell my son hello. Good people, man.
All right. Well,
and thank you again, Charlie, for having us.
Yeah,
we look forward. Thank you.
If you guys need anything, I'm just a message away. Just get a hold of me. But I will definitely see Mwalim. I'll see you tomorrow, and
all right, yeah.
I guess I'll see you on Friday.
Yeah, I might stop by there tomorrow and check you out, Charlie.
Yeah, we need
some. Oh, all right, yeah.
I'm ready. As far as the photo shoot, we need black people. Black is beautiful. We need good looking people. Don't need my ugly face in the front.
Nah, get out of here, man. You crazy, Charlie. Come on, man.
All right.
We need you, man. But thank you again, Charlie. You told me who was that was on earlier? Lorraine.
Lorraine, tell her was on. She was saying hello to us. And,
Oh, tell her I said hi. And I just want to say these words of inspiration. She very significant in helping me to grow here in the South Coast. Her and Colleen.
yes.
You know, they were very instrumental in helping me. And she continues to help me to this day. That's the reason why I played on Cape up in there 9 years, because of her. You know?
That's good.
I can say I'm glad you had that experience.
So it was a great experience, man.
She was busy bad mouthing us around New Bedford while we were
Oh,
getting
God.
so, hey, but I'm glad you had that experience. That's good.
Yeah, we don't need. I always say, you know, don't wait on nobody. You know,
Nope.
When, you got to keep going, man. Like you said, you got to keep it moving and keep going. Whether sometimes I don't know, people have their ways, man. But like you said, we can't wait on nobody. Just like we put out this record, and we could continue to be successful and moving on to higher endeavors, man. God willing, you know.
This is it.
And that's what I hope to be doing with Mwalim and myself, and being an inspiration to the next generation, you know, coming behind us, you know.
It's also the kind of thing to understand that there is some place for everybody.
That's right. That's the truth. That's the truth.
And you know, it's sort of like this is why when I was talking about you have gatekeepers and no fences.
Yeah, right.
People are so used to dealing with gatekeepers and feeling we have to operate within that. And it's sort of, no, there's always it's sort of like there's always going to be 4 people who tell you yes to that one who tells you no.
That's true.
We only listen to that one who says no.
And
let that determine where we're going to go with things. And it's like, okay, you said no, fair enough. You know, it's like I said, years back, I learned, okay, if you can't book me for a gig, I can get a venue, I can post flyers, and I can invite people to my show, and I can do it that way. And that's what we did, and that's what we've been doing. You know,
you continue to do. I see you growing so fast, man. You guys are growing, man, doing so many different things, which is wonderful for the city here of New Bedford.
Oh, we're trying, you know, and the beautiful thing is, like I said, getting to work with brothers like you. Getting to work with folks like you all, getting to work with people like Ms. Cordwell, getting to work with people like Hendrik Hernandez Resto, with Margot Saulnier, working with all of those folks in the city. These are blessings.
Very much.
Again, it's I'm not looking at the people who said no. You were the guys who said yes, so let's get together and do our thing. Brian said yes, so yeah, let's do our thing.
That's right.
And leave it at that. It's been New Moon Dance Party, the folks who do underground dance music on the first Saturday night. Some people would say, oh, that's your competition. No, that's not our competition, that's our family.
Yeah, exactly.
Monday night we're dancing at the Co-Creative to them and to whoever their guest DJ is, and then 2 Saturdays go by and they're at the underground dancing with us. That's how that's community.
Yeah, and the people don't realize that the community is good, and community is good. Competition is good, right?
It's very good.
The greatest competition that we heard as lovers of music came out of Motown, right?
Right.
Smokey, Marvin,
that's right.
Temptations. They competed every single day, and
every day
rode for each other. And it's the same thing that needs to. In New Bedford, guess what? Come together, right? All right, I'm gonna hype this crowd up right now, right? And you do that, right? Chops comes off the floor, he spins off the floor and throws the Mwalim and says, Mwalim is now yours, right? And then you just put on a great show for the people
that's right.
standing in front of you, right? Or sitting in front of you. Hopefully they're dancing in front of you, right?
Right.
So, it's all good. You both get 5 stars for everything that you're possibly doing, and you are not a dark spot in this city or shining bright, like the sunlight. And if Chop's singing, it's the moonlight, how he gets people in the mood, and Mwalim, that's what it is. No matter what it is, day or night, you're bringing out some shine. It may
That's
be the
right,
moonlight, it may be the sunshine, but you're bringing out some shine.
That's right. That's our goal.
And with me, if I'm staying romantic, I like just a little bit of candlelight. So,
there we go.
There
we go.
I love you guys, man.
Love you too, man. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Hey,
don't forget to get our new record, our new song that's out. Grown Folks Party.
Grown Folks Party by Wamtronaka featuring Neville Chops Turner.
Thank you.
On
Thank you.
All platforms.
That's right.
And look out for the next one. We're working on one called We Rise.
Oh, we got another one coming behind that, Charlie.
Oh, we can't wait. This is my cousin Greg from Louisiana, another musician.
Hey, how you doing, Greg?
What's good, sir?
What's good, my brother?
Another chef. He definitely he
got
it all. That's why he's married, right? He left the Cape, went down to Louisiana, started playing some music, right? And girls are saying, "Oh, that's cool. That's natural, right? That's what we got down here, right?" And so now he meets this young lady, my new cousin. Well, she's not new now. They've been married for a while, right? He meets Nadia, and then he said, "Well, I could play some music, but I can also do some other things." So the other things was chefing, right? He can chef in the house and outside the house. He got a barbecue pit. He's doing everything.
Wow, man, I gotta get down there, man. The barbecue.
So Nadia said, "I ain't going nowhere. I'm keeping this brother, right?"
That's right. She's a smart woman.
Changed her name.
She's a smart woman, man.
Anytime, if y'all in New Orleans, you let me know, and you definitely got to get you guys connected and meet awesome. Greg. Greg's a good dude. Hope he comes back up. If he comes back up, I'm definitely getting you guys together. I don't care what it is.
Oh yeah, I'd love to meet him. Love to meet him, man.
Yeah,
his bass is unbelievable, man. It's
as long as he brings some of that barbecue with him.
Yeah, that's all he needs is a fire. You know what?
We gotta get some barbecue, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
So, but love you guys, and I will
love you more, man. Take care. Thank you very much, Charlie. Again.
All right. Take care. Thank you.
All right. Have a good night, brother. Peace.
You too.
I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. I'll be there.
See y'all later.
All right. All right, everyone. Thank you. Facebook Live, YouTube. I appreciate you. Thank you for everyone. Please like and subscribe to the Really Charlie podcast on YouTube. And you know what? Another great show. All right. Take care. I will see you guys tomorrow. 2 times, 11 a.m. and actually at 6 p.m. I will see you. Take care. God bless and have a great night.